What if I told you the key to building strength wasn't lifting heavier weights? You need to stop moving. And that sounds completely backwards until you understand what these 5 holds actually do to your body. Here's the thing most people never learn. When you lift a weight, there's always an easy part of the rep and a hard part. Your muscle only works at its max for a split second, and the rest of the movement is basically coasting. An isometric hold is different. You hold one position under tension and you don't move at all, which means the muscle stays switched on at full effort the entire time. There's no easy part, no coasting. Research on isometric training has shown it can recruit a higher percentage of your muscle fibers than regular reps, and because you're not slamming through a range of motion, you can push at nearly 100% effort without beating up your joints. That's the part that matters as the years go by. You get the strength without the wear and tear. So today I'm going to show you 5 isometric holds that will build real usable strength using nothing but your own body weight and a wall. Let's get into it. The first hold is the one you've probably heard of and almost certainly underestimate. The wall sit. Everybody thinks of it as a beginner move, something you do in gym class, but done correctly, it's one of the most brutal and effective ways to build strength in your legs that exists. Your quads, the big muscles on the front of your thighs, are some of the most important muscles for staying strong and independent. They're what get you out of a chair, up a flight of stairs, and back up off the floor. And they're some of the first to fade when people stop challenging them. The wall sit forces them to work at full tension for an extended stretch of time, which is exactly the stimulus they need. Here's how you do it. Stand with your back flat against a wall, then walk your feet out and slide down until your thighs are parallel to the floor like you're sitting in an invisible chair. Your knees should be stacked right over your ankles, bent at 90 degrees, and your feet about hip width apart. Press your entire back into the wall, from your shoulders down to your tailbone. Now hold. Drive your heels into the floor and squeeze your thighs hard. Start with 30 seconds and work toward 2 minutes over the coming weeks. You'll feel your quads start to burn within the first 15 seconds, and that burn is the whole point. That's the muscle working under sustained load. The biggest mistake is sitting too high. People stop at a shallow angle where their thighs are nowhere near parallel, and they wonder why they feel nothing. The lower you sit toward that 90-degree mark, the more your quads have to work. The second mistake is letting your knees drift inward as you fatigue. Keep them pushed out, tracking over your feet. If a full 90-degree wall sit is too much right now, that's completely fine. Slide down only as far as you can hold with good form, even if that's just a quarter of the way, and build down lower as you get stronger. When 2 minutes at parallel feels manageable, you can hold a heavy book or a jug of water on your lap to add load, and you'll have built leg strength that rivals what most people get from a loaded squat. The second hold builds pushing strength through your whole upper body, and it's the bottom of a push-up, not the moving push-up, the hold. Most people can barely do a few push-ups before their form falls apart, and that's because they have no strength in the hardest part of the movement, which is the bottom. By holding that position under tension, you build strength exactly where you're weakest, and that carries over into stronger shoulders, a stronger chest, and stronger arms for everything you do in daily life, from pushing open a heavy door to getting yourself up off the ground. Here's how to do it. Get into a push-up position, hands a little wider than your shoulders, body in a straight line from your head to your heels. Now lower yourself halfway down until your elbows are at about 90 degrees. And stop. Hold right there. Keep your core tight so your hips don't sag toward the floor, and squeeze your shoulder blades slightly. Your chest, shoulders, and triceps should all be working hard to keep you from dropping. Hold for 10 to 20 seconds, rest, and repeat 3 to 5 times. The mistake almost everyone makes here is letting the hips sag, which dumps all the tension out of your arms and crushes your lower back. Keep that body line straight like a plank. The second mistake is holding your breath. Breathe steadily and shallow throughout. If a full push-up hold is too much, drop to your knees and hold the exact same halfway position, keeping a straight line from your knees to your head. If you need it even easier, put your hands on a sturdy chair or countertop and hold the angle there. As you get stronger, you work your way back down toward the floor. The third hold builds something most home workouts completely ignore, and that's pulling strength. Every program has push-ups and squats, but pulling strength, the strength in your back and the backs of your arms, is what holds your posture upright and keeps your shoulders healthy. Weak pulling strength is a big reason people end up hunched forward with achy shoulders and a stiff neck, and you don't need a pull-up bar or any equipment to train it. You just need a towel and a door frame. Here's how to do it. Take a sturdy towel and loop it around a solid doorknob, or better yet, both knobs on either side of a door. Sit or stand facing the door. Grab one end of the towel in each hand and lean back so your arms are nearly straight and you're holding your own body weight against the towel. Now pull. Bend your elbows, drive them down and back, and pull your chest toward the door until your hands are at the sides of your ribs. Then hold that pulling position. Squeeze your shoulder blades together hard, like you're trying to pinch a pencil between them. You'll feel the muscles across your upper back and the fronts of your arms light up. Hold for 15 to 20 seconds. Rest, repeat 3 to 5 times. The main mistake is shrugging your shoulders up toward your ears, which loads the neck instead of the back. Keep your shoulders pulled down and back. The other mistake is using your lower back to lean instead of your arms to pull. Keep your spine tall and let the pull come from your arms and back. To make it easier, just stand more upright so you're holding less of your body weight. To make it harder, walk your feet forward and lean back further so your arms carry more load. Now, before I show you the fourth hold, let me take a second to talk to you directly. If you're watching this, there's a good chance the reason you're looking for ways to get stronger without weights is that something already hurts. Maybe your joints ache, maybe your back has been stiff for years, maybe you've tried to get back into shape before, but the workouts left you sore and beat up, and you gave up. I built a 30-day program called Reboot Your Body for people in exactly that situation. It takes you from wherever you are right now, no matter how stiff or out of practice you feel, and walks you step by step through a progressive plan that rebuilds your strength and your mobility at the same time without wrecking your joints in the process. We're talking about getting back to lifting your grandkids without your back seizing up, carrying the groceries in one trip, getting down on the floor and back up with ease. The link is in the description below if you want to check it out. It's the same kind of joint-friendly strength work I'm showing you here, just laid out as a complete daily plan, so you never have to guess what to do next. All right, back to it. The fourth hold targets one leg at a time, and that matters more than you might think. When you train both legs together, your stronger side quietly takes over and your weaker side stays weak. That imbalance is behind a lot of knee pain, hip pain, and the unsteadiness that creeps in over time. Training one leg at a time forces each side to carry its own weight, which builds balanced strength and the kind of stability that prevents falls. This one is the split squat hold. Here's how to do it. Step one foot forward and the other foot back into a staggered stance, like a lunge, but with your feet a comfortable stride apart. Now lower straight down until your front thigh is roughly parallel to the floor and your back knee is hovering just above the ground. Most of your weight should be on your front leg. Keep your chest tall and your front knee tracking over your foot. Hold this position. Your front quad and glute will be doing the heavy lifting, and you'll feel a stretch through the front of your back hip at the same time. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds, then switch legs 2 rounds per side. The most common mistake is leaning too far forward and putting all the weight on the back leg, which takes the work out of the front leg where you want it. Keep your torso upright and your weight stacked over that front foot. The second mistake is letting the front knee cave inward. Keep it pointed straight ahead over your toes. If balance is an issue, and it often is at first, rest one hand on a wall or a chair. There's no shame in it, and you'll need the support less and less as you go. To make it harder, hold something heavy against your chest. The fifth hold ties everything together by building the deep strength of your core. And I don't mean the kind you get from crunches. Crunches actually flex and stress your spine, which is the last thing most people need. Real core strength is about bracing, about holding your spine stable and rigid against force, because that's what your core does every time you lift, carry, push, or pull anything in real life. This hold builds exactly that, and it's called the hollow body hold. Here's how to do it. Lie flat on your back. Press your lower back firmly into the floor so there's no gap underneath it. This is the most important part, so don't skip it. Now lift your shoulders and head slightly off the floor and raise both legs a foot or so off the ground, reaching your arms long toward your feet or up overhead if that's too hard. Your body should make a shallow banana shape with only your lower back and hips in contact with the floor. Hold it. Your deep abdominal muscles will be working hard to keep your spine pinned down and your limbs up. Hold for 15 to 30 seconds. Rest, repeat 3 times. The number one mistake is letting your lower back arch up off the floor, which means your core has given up and your spine is taking the load. The moment your back lifts, you've lost it. So if that happens, raise your legs higher or bend your knees to make it easier. Keeping that lower back glued down is the entire exercise. To make it harder over time, lower your legs closer to the floor and stretch your arms straight overhead, which lengthens your body and forces your core to work much harder. So here's how you put all 5 together into a complete routine you can do 3 to 4 times a week. Start with the wall sit. 2 rounds, 30 seconds to 2 minutes depending on your level, with about a minute of rest between. Then move to the push-up hold, 3 to 5 rounds of 10 to 20 seconds, resting as needed between each. From there, the towel row hold, 3 to 5 rounds of 15 to 20 seconds. Then the split squat hold, 20 to 30 seconds per leg, 2 rounds per side. And finish with the hollow body hold, 3 rounds of 15 to 30 seconds. The whole session takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and it trains your entire body, pushing strength, pulling strength, your legs and your core, without a single weight and without grinding down your joints. Done consistently 3 to 4 times a week, you'll start to feel the difference within the first couple of weeks. Stairs get easier. Getting up off the floor stops being a project. Carrying things feels lighter. And here's the part that surprises people most. Because you're holding these positions at full tension, you're not just building strength, you're building the joint stability and tendon strength that protect you from injury, which is something a lot of weight training never touches. This is how you build a body that's strong in a way that actually shows up in your real life, not just in the gym. Give this routine a real shot for 30 days and pay attention to how much steadier and stronger you feel. And if you want the complete day-by-day plan that takes all the guesswork out and rebuilds your strength and mobility over a full 30 days, head to the link in the description and grab Reboot Your Body. If this video helped you, hit subscribe so the next one shows up in your feed and share it with someone who could use it. I'll see you in the next one.